What's going on, bros and girls? Sorry I'm late, but my man, co-host Rockin' Robbie, was having some difficulties. It's cool. Yeah, I always am late anyways, so.
I know, now you know what it feels like. But Dylan was right on time. He was even early, y'all. He was even early. So
yeah,
should be really impressed, my man.
You were just in the background getting ready.
Yeah, you know.
But Station, my brothers, Station. Good to have you guys, and thank you so much for waiting. I know you guys always look forward to this Saturday, but this is a fun one, man, because this is one of me and Robbie's favorites. So we are spotlighting the director and actor and producer Eli Roth. Oh man, I love his work so much. I think he's before we start, I'm gonna say one thing about news, and it's just one thing for I was telling you behind the scenes, Robbie, that full moon on their subscription that I got because of Whole Shoe, they had a new movie, but the only thing I don't like is they're releasing it out in chapters.
Yeah.
So they only did like chapter 1, and that's like 35 minutes, but it's called Let Me In, or Don't Let Her In. Don't Let Her In. And dude, it's about like this fine girl that like moves into this apartment with like two dudes, like a couple, like they're kind of subletting their room out of their apartment.
Yeah.
And she ends up being like really weird. You know, it's something, bro. It's really good though. It's directed by the guy who did Subspecies, Ted Nicolai, nice. I think. So it's worth the check out. I really wish they would just release the whole movie because I wanted to watch, like, getting 35 minutes in. It felt like a tease, honestly. So you might want to wait till the whole thing comes out, but I don't know when it's coming out.
Might as well, because I got that full moon subscription. So
yeah, dude, it was dope, man. I really liked it. But what's up, John TM, Jamie, Chamorro? Let's see. That's all I think. I think Fable was in there. Brother Joe, and yeah, there's Fable. But yeah, so let's get into Eli Roth, dude. Starts out 2002, and man, the only way I'll tell you that, you know how I described him to my dad so that he would remember, because he loves Inglourious Bastards. I love it too, but I was like, you know who directed Death Wish, the one with Bruce Willis? See, me and him had watched it a couple of years when it first came out. Yeah, I was like, dude, the Bear Jew directed that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know exactly who it is. But
nice.
Yeah, so 2002 though, he comes out with Cabin Fever, bro, which is, I love it, man. I remember I either rented it like the first week it came. I know I rented it the first week it came out of Blockbuster, but I can't remember if I went to see it at the drive-in. I feel like I went and saw it at the drive-in. So I remember seeing it with my parents. But dude, I remember they thought it was a little overboard, but you know, my parents, they like horror, but you know, this was a little bit more for like the younger age, and they were like, you know, they were like, you know, 30s, so it was a little bit too much, which I can understand. You know, this shit goes over, you know, and I love it, dude. It feels so unique, but and just so like cabin in the woods, Evil Dead vibe, which I know that's exactly what he's going for, but it's got everything you want, bro. You know, the girls, the gore and the blood,
jokes,
you know,
and the jokes.
And I honestly, you like the characters. That's one thing with Eli Roth's movies. I feel like he nails like character development and really makes you kind of like, he can make a character the biggest asshole, or he can make him the most likable, you know. So I love that where, you know, you're kind of like, I don't know, he just knows how to work it. I really love it.
Well, you know, we were talking not too long ago, you know, because I was like, Adam Green and Eli Roth kind of feel this similar, not necessarily their styles, but their love for horror. And that's what you really get out of Eli Roth. You know, he's even got the History of Horror show and all these movies we'll be talking about tonight. I remember watching a Bravo series they were airing during Halloween. It was like the 100 most scariest movie moments, and he was all up in there. And like I was immediately like impressed with this cat. And this was right around the time Hostel was coming out, and I remembered hearing about Cabin Fever. And it has the quote by Peter Jackson. And that's how Eli Roth really built his career, was like he had a lot of people speak up for him. Like Peter Jackson had the quote for Cabin Fever. And then Quentin Tarantino getting involved in Hostel. That made me pay attention. And I really like him. I think he has a great understanding of horror. And I think that's why him and James Wan were at the forefront of that, you know, that torture porn movement, as they call it. But Cabin Fever's great, dude. It's wild. It's fun. It's nice because these are the first movies that you start getting after that, like, Scream wave. Like the wave of all those slashers. I know you love the Valentine and the I Know What You Did Last Summers and the urban legends and all that stuff.
Valentine's and it's a little bit lower. I like it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's a stylized thing that came post Scream.
Oh yeah.
And Cabin Fever brings it back to like gore, nudity, ridiculousness. Like this is a really fun movie, and it's also really messed up. And it deals and tackles with things that a lot of people, like I was in my early 20s when this movie came out. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I totally can relate to these characters. They're just trying to go out, get laid, you know, have some fun, drink some beer. And you know, we're talking about these post 9/11 films. And one of the biggest things that you see in Eli's movies is how scared and paranoid we are of the other, and in particular, like other countries, you know, and things like that. Right. And a virus. So like you add in a virus, and that adds into the whole idea. I mean, we've seen it, you know, we've seen it this last year where people like don't want to like, will literally like talk mad shit to each other and like get in fights over like a virus. You know what I'm saying? So to have that paranoia ramped up in a movie like this, that throws so much back to those Cabin in the Woods movies. I freaking love this movie. Great performances, really messed up, but also very fun. And everybody knows nobody sits next to Dennis. I mean, that's the other thing about Eli Roth is he doesn't end a movie traditionally. His endings are freaking wild. Like his most like probably normal ass ending is first Hostel, right? Yeah. But like this one, the way it ends with like the, you know, the hootenanny or whatever, and just how and it is about how this pretentiousness almost that we have as Americans now. Some of us, we're so privileged, you know, we're going to go to this cabin, but you don't know what it's like. You don't know these people. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of got that element too of in all of his horror films, you get this element of people thinking that they're owed something or whatever, having this like pretentious thought about themselves, and then the other like kind of enveloping them in a way. You see that in all these films, but with the town at the end of Cabin Fever is what I'm saying in particular.
So I knew also that K&B does like all his effects. I didn't know they did also Cabin Fever. I was just looking. It makes sense because the effects are incredible. But I know, like, I thought Hostel was when they started because I was watching the commentary for it today. I thought Hostel was, but it must have been, I guess it's Cabin Fever, which, dude, to start your first freaking film, you know, I'm saying KMB and just basically develop that relationship. And I know he's used them for everything. I don't know about Knock Knock. I think so, though. Or no, not Knock Knock, Death Wish. But I know
there's not too much in Knock Knock as far as that goes, right?
Yeah. Green Inferno is the one I know that he worked with as well. But yeah, bro, I have a hell of a time with this one, bro. It's so much fun. Dennis feels like the Pumpkinhead son that gets like killed in the beginning. He feels like the badass version of him that bites everybody. You know. But it gives me that vibe with the store clerk owner and everything. I don't know, but you know, he's homaging quite a few things, but it also feels so, you know, just Eli Roth, man, just one hell of a film to break out your career with, man. I adore it, man. I started, like, I saw Jumping Out, bro. Like, it attracted to me, especially I think my parents saw the quote by Peter Jackson, and we were big Lord of the Rings fans, so we were like, you know, if he's talking about this, you know, and that's what he's getting Clinton to co-sign him to, you know, it's like,
I was like, this is the guy that did Dead Alive. Hell yeah, I'll check it out. Like, the guy that did Dead Alive says this is awesome, and it is, and it's a great poster. You know,
I love it, man.
Fantastic poster. It is legitimately scary. It builds tension. You're worried, and I
bought it twice.
It's nice. Pretty much all the characters, I would say, are mostly unlikable. They are relatable, but they're unlikable, I think, at times.
Especially in this one.
My favorite character is Justin. Is that the Eli Roth character? Is his name Justin? Like, that's the funniest. Like, that's when you start realizing the movie's going to start having a lot of fun.
You know, he's also when they're telling the story on the campfire and about the bowling ball dude.
Yeah.
You know, his head is the one that, like, he's like, and he was still smiling.
I thought that was his brother
with a shaved head.
I thought that was his brother. I don't know.
I've never seen his brother, but it looks. I thought it was him just with a, you know.
I think I looked in the credits and I thought it was his brother. Maybe it was a fake name.
Because I mean, if not, it looks just like Eli Roth. You know.
I just love when he shows up though, and he's like, "Hey guys, you got room for one more?" And they're like, "No, man, this is a private conversation. I guess I'm just gonna have to smoke all this weed by myself." And they're like,
"No, it ain't that. It ain't that private, you know."
Come sit next to me.
Right.
But it's got a good cast, man. It's legitimately fun, man, and it's wild and wacky. And don't forget, like, that old guy, the sweet old guy at the store, and then he gets super racist, and then the way the movie ends.
Oh
my God, it's so freaking it subverts your expectations, and it's also a little bit. I love that it pushes those boundaries again, because this is when we were starting to get that, and. This is before he got labeled just torture porn, you know?
Right, yeah.
This has got some gruesome effects, bro. Like, when they turn that chick over and her face is all, like, eaten away. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. It's messed up. And I like the deputy or the cop that comes and he's like, "Hey, man.
The party man.
Like, oh, dude, I got your back. Like, your top priority." And then he bounces in the little bike. He's on the little mountain bike.
Oh my God.
With the rattler.
That character is ridiculous. And then he's the one that, like, at the end cleans it all up for him, you know?
Yeah, and he's out partying with, like, underage chicks.
We can party, man. There's always some skeevy guy in Eli Roth's movies. Like, this always like, guys, and they always have, like, a little shit mustache. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always do. Like, you can just tell Eli's known these kind of people. You know what I'm saying?
I love to, and he's like, "It's all right, ma'am. Go back inside, have yourself a big 40, and relax and lay down," or something, you know?
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's so quotable. It is definitely a great film to start off with. Honestly, it's really hard for me to pick my favorites. I know you like Hostel 2 the best, but it's really hard, like, for me to just, like, I love them all, to be honest. I love all his films. I think he's a great filmmaker, and he hasn't done that much, to be honest.
He hasn't. He's been quiet, especially lately.
Yeah, he produces a lot of films. Like he produced one that I really love, Haunt, about that like haunted house I was telling you about. With it's kind of like it almost feels like a remake of the Fun House, but instead of a fun house, like a carnival thing, it's just a haunted house. Yeah. But it's dope. All right, though. So for the rating, my brother, what do you want to give Cabin Fever? And everyone in the chat, if you've seen Cabin Fever, throw your rating down below.
I would give this beautiful gem of a movie, especially the unrated cut.
Dude, I had to watch I just got this today, so nice. I had to watch the R-rated. So I don't know I know it's 6 minutes. 6 minutes I missed.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stretches in the unrated cut, but this is a movie filled with weird stretches, a lot of homage to classic horror films, especially Cabin in the Woods type stuff like Evil Dead. It does its own thing, though, with the whole idea of the Cabin in the Woods and a clever name, but it's not supernatural. It's about this virus. It's about distrust. It's about sexually transmitted disease. It's about that fear when you're young and you're living life free and loose, and you can get something, and this is a part of what's going on in the movie too. So I think it's got levels to it. I think it's got great performances, amazing special effects. I'm giving it 4 slips, which for tonight only, I'm making sure the exchange rate is even with the you dig. So this is 4 you dig / you slips. And these are good, solid slips, bro. And I'm talking like Dolls, From Beyond, Manhunter. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about some good slips, brother. So I'm giving it 4. I think it's a great debut for Eli Roth. He understands horror and it really starts making that known in his first film.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. It's highly rewatchable. It's really fun. The one guy, he kind of can be a little bit of a dickhead, so he kind of takes it down like a half a point. I don't really mind it at all.
You're talking about the guy that's like shooting squirrels and shit?
Yeah. He can be a little over, but it doesn't bug me.
He is way over the fucking top, by the way.
Yeah, without a doubt, man.
Why did nobody be like, bruh, you need to calm the fuck down right now?
But he's that single asshole, He's the one that out of all of them doesn't really have a girl, so he's just shooting squirrels and shit.
And he's super drunk and he's freaking out, bro, because he killed that dude.
Yeah, right.
So he knows what's up before anybody else, and he's the asshole that doesn't tell him. He's the dude in the movie that gets bit by a zombie and doesn't tell anybody.
Yeah, 4 out of 5, Daniel Jensen. That's what we do out of 5 stars, or 5 slips, or 5 you digs, whatever you want, my brother. But so 2005, he comes out with Hostel, and this one, man, good thing you had yours, because that mine, I must have just put it away. I ended up buying the DVD so I could get the freaking commentaries, because there's good special features on it. Dude, there's like 5 different commentaries on there.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff in here. It didn't even isn't Quentin on one of them?
Oh yeah, that's the one I watched.
Yeah, Quentin's on one of because he's an executive producer in the film.
Yep, that's the one I watched.
This film was infamous when it came out, bruh. This film was immediately infamous. Like when Saw came out, everybody like, whoa! When Cabin Fever came out, people were like, oh, cool. But when this one came out, people like loved it or hated it, and it still is like that today. And
I loved it. Yeah. I loved it so much. I loved Saw, and I remember I used to sneak over to my buddies, and when I'd sleep over, like we would just watch Saw 1 through 3 all the time, or 1 and 2, and then 3 came out. So they would do it every Halloween. But I remember when Hostel came out, bro, that shit was like a step above Saw. You know what I'm saying? And even better characters, in my opinion. That's what separates it, because I think there's better characters. Like Saw is dope. I love Saw. But I think Eli Roth perfects his characters and how he wants you to like him or how he doesn't want you to like him. He'll make you be rooting for one dude to get killed, and then the next dude you're sad as hell. You're like, no man, I love this dude. He's so fucking dope, Yeah. Or you're feeling bad for him, So that's because he pulls the psycho with the one dude who gets his leg touched by that old guy. You know what I'm saying? And if you think Eli Roth or Quentin were talking, he's like, you know, how he's talking about eating his food with his hands, and then he goes and touches that guy who he ends up killing later and torturing. So he's like, he's got some weird fetish where he's like trying to get to know this guy that he's about to kill, you know, like he's fucking he's psycho as fuck, you know, and he really is. I mean, he seems like a regular up in there, but I love it, man. I mean, they're going like, this is, like I say all the time, this movie made me scared to leave the freaking country, dude. Like, oh my God, like, 'cause I remember I always, after watching Euro Trip and shit, you know, that movie as a kid, because I always loved the American Pies, road trips and shit, and that I was like, dude, I want to go to Euro, you know what I'm saying, Amsterdam, and then I saw that, I'm like, I'm good, I'm good, but yeah, man, it's
well, none of the bad stuff really happens in Amsterdam, right? So
right. Well, you know what I mean, just Europe.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it's fucked up, bro. It's a good one, man. I remember this is a day one for me. Like after Cabin Fever, I was always, anything I saw with this dude's name on it, I was in for it, you know. And it just always was like an experience, like for real, you know. And that's what you want. Like these movies, they leave you like, it's not one you forget when you watch an Eli Roth movie, and that's what separates him from a lot of, you know, directors. Like you don't, for like, you know what I'm saying, like it leaves an impact on you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I freaking love the movie, man. I remember watching it in the theater. I remember getting the director's cut as soon as it came out. Like I just was obsessed with this film, and what I like about the film is that you know that you're getting into a horror film, but for like the first 40 minutes of the movie, you kind of forget. And you think you're watching like a raunchy National Lampoon American Pie type thing, right? You totally think you're just watching some nudie comedy, you know, and it moves you away from that. And then the turn happens. And then it's about these dudes getting captured, getting set up, and then being tortured, right? And it seems crazy, but I know that I've seen a lot of criticism on the movie for how gratuitous it is at the beginning with its like nudity and its sexual content. And it's all about these dudes. Their only plan is to get laid. Like that's the whole reason why they're there. And it got a lot of flack for being objectifying. And here's what I thought was wild. Is like, I think that's the point. Okay. So I so hate this torture porn connotation because it's a negative term. People use it in a negative light. When they say torture porn, it's like they're saying it as an insult almost, right? Now, what this is to me is it's setting up and even maybe enticing me and you, Dylan, as male viewers of this movie to really get into what's happening. It's a male fantasy. You all of a sudden you go into this hotel room, this hostel, and these two chicks that are like just beautiful, just super sexy, are like all after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what you like. It's like, this is too good to be true. That's what you're thinking, right? And there's even the moment where like he's just like, this has got to be too good to be true. Yeah, it is. And what I love about it is, yeah, these dudes are pieces of shit, and they're just out there to objectify these women. That's fine, doing whatever, right? But what happens? That script gets flipped, and then they are the ones truly objectified, right? They're the ones bought and sold, you know, like on a menu to be anything to be done. At least in what's going on in the first half, there's consent, but of course it's all set up. It's always too good to be true. And it's another theme that kind of brings itself back up in Knock Knock. We'll get to that one. But I love the film. I think it's brilliant. I think what it's saying about the objectification of the human body, and not just like on a sexual way, but on like a soldier. You know what I'm saying? On a terrorist, on a victim in 9/11. We're back to that heavy thing, as Mick Garris would say, to watching the body rent asunder, right? Dealing with some kind of national tragedy, some kind of societal change that had an impact on people, even just on a subconscious level. Something changed. There was something more unnerving. These things get reflected in our art, especially our horror art. And that's why I think movies like Saw and Hostel started this re-renaissance and gory, gross, like really gnarly kind of horror that you get into that gets labeled as torture porn. And Hostel, of course, is, I think, one of the pioneers of it and I think it did such an amazing job. The characters are fine. It's very similar to Hatchet's premise, you know, a group of friends going out to get laid and then they get messed up instead, you know.
Right.
The main character, you know, getting over a relationship. It's all cliche, it's all cheesy, it's all typical. That is exactly what is supposed to happen. Because, you know, when you see this trailer, when you see the movie poster, you're like, oh, Quentin Tarantino says this is the most visceral horror experience you'll see in years, right? And so, you know, but then you really forget that you're watching a horror movie, and then it starts with the Achilles tendon and it doesn't stop. And it's got a sense of humor too. The dude that slips on the fucking what is he slips on the fingers or whatever, and like he slips on something and like chainsaws his leg up, and it's just a weird comedy of errors. It gets like cartoonish at times. It gets weird. Why does he cut her eyeball like that? And then it's just so gross, and it's just like, I freaking love this movie, bruh. And it's really chilling. The moment when it's Jay Hernandez, right? It's the guy that was El Diablo.
Yeah. Yep.
When he goes back to the hostel and they're like, no, you checked out. Because you remember, he passes out in that storage locker. So they don't get him that night. So he goes back to the hostel. So they set him up with a new room. He walks in, two different girls basically doing the exact same lines. Hey, we're going to the spa. You should come. You want to go dance? And that gets, oh man, what's going on here? I freaking love the movie. It does deal with the xenophobia, deals with paranoia. This is something that Eli Roth is apparently really kind of focused on and exploring thematically in his films. I really like it. People say it's xenophobic, and I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's about xenophobia, but it's about the objectification of the human body. It's a lot of things all in one. And at the same time, it's just meant to be a horror romp at the same time. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
I couldn't agree more, man.
That was a rant. I know. I'm sorry. I've been holding that in.
I love it. That's why I just let you do your thing, bro. I couldn't stop greatness. But yeah, dude, I couldn't agree more. It's a phenomenal film, bro. It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Like, it's one of my favorites, man. I as soon as it came out, I owned it on DVD. You know what I'm saying? I remember like the Hook cover. I bought it. That's the one I bought. When I saw it, I was like, fuck it, bro. I just want it for the commentaries. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got it for like a few bucks. So. But
and also the costumes, like the way that the people look that are doing this, like the people that are paying to torture people, their getup is freaking scary. Like evil, dirty, grungy surgeon. The whole way it's shot is very impactful. The lighting, it's so brilliant. I think it's a brilliant film.
yeah, Daniel Jensen. I can see how you like. I don't see torture porn. I don't really like the name because a lot of people do say it in a negative way. So it's just a horror movie to me. But because honestly, when I think of torture porn, I'm thinking of like some freaking 50 Shades of Grey times 10 type shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, you think Hostel's bad. You should see some of the films. Right? Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that's way worse than this as far as like going too far. I don't think this movie goes very far. I think it has the reputation for it, but when you really on the rewatch, were you not taken aback a little bit about how little they actually show at times?
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, Pet Sematary, they did the same Achilles thing. I mean, his is a little bit more, but it's like they really don't show. Like, they're really careful. Like, you don't see that girl getting her eye torched, you know, you just see it, you know, which that's enough, you know? So it's like, I don't feel like it goes over the limit. I feel like it, you know, just kind of just really hits the limit at its peak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I love the ending. Now, have you seen the alternate ending?
I don't know.
Okay. So the ending of the day. The ending of the movie, the Jay Hernandez character finds the dude that killed his friend.
Yeah.
And he goes to the bathroom and kills him.
Yep.
In the alternate ending, he kidnaps the dude's daughter and like takes her on the train. And the dude's out there screaming for his daughter. And then he gets away with her kid. That's the alternate ending. It's very weird. It's a weird stretch. It's a much more satisfying ending when he goes and kills the dude in the dam. And that's the ending that they pick up from, of course, in Hostel 2.
Yeah. So let's do a rating on Hostel and jump into Hostel 2.
Yes.
So and if anyone's seen the first Hostel and wants to throw their rating out of 5 stars or 5 slips, 5 dates, throw it down below. Robbie, what do you want to give this one?
4.5 slips. 4.5. I really like this film. It's because of what I think it represents for horror and its renaissance in the early 2000s. It's I think incredibly well polished, a little bit better as far as just its impact than Cabin Fever. I think both movies are pretty much kind of probably on the same level, but this one just affects me more. I really am into it more. I do like the characters, but I like the effect of the movie. I like how they lure you in, and then you're just like these dudes. You're like, I can't believe this. This movie's wild. I haven't seen anything like this since Porky's, right? And then all of a sudden, bam. And it's like, I renounced my wish. 4.5.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 too, because this was one I watched nonstop, man. Like I watched this definitely more than Cabin Fever back in the day, but I still loved it. I just for some reason this one just attracts me a little bit more. I love the setup. I love just the whole storytelling on it, and it's got everything I need. You know what I mean? But
it's pleasing for you, I know.
It really is, man. But I just love the story too. It's like I can't just watch it. I couldn't just watch it because of that. The story's gotta be good, And I think it's great, man. But 2007, we'll just skim through this. 2007, Grindhouse comes out with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez doing like a double feature, which was incredible. I absolutely adore it. And in between, they would do these little kind of fake mock trailers. And Eli Roth did one, and it was called Thanksgiving, which is basically a little short story. And it's awesome, man. It's like a black and white, short story, but it's absolutely awesome. I loved it. And I don't know if you've seen it, Robbie, but
I have, and I think it's hilarious. I haven't seen it though in years. Yeah, but I should have rewatched it because I just got that Grindhouse recently. So
yeah,
but it's hilarious.
It's dope. Yeah. So
I wish he'd make it an actual film.
Yeah, exactly. So in 2007, he also comes out with his. So 2 years later from the original Hostel, he comes out with Hostel Part 2, and obviously, I know this is one that you adore. I think it's a perfect sequel. This is your Hostel 1 and 2 are absolutely perfect as a double feature. You don't get too much better. Like in my opinion, it's a must. You have to watch both of these like back to back. I think it is perfect storytelling. How it picks it, right off where the first one left off at, and I think that this is beside this and like Green Inferno are his two biggest films.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just he's hit his stride, and he's just he's feeling himself right now, man. I mean, you're working with Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez. He's at the best. He's at the top of his game.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great story. I think it's cool that it totally switches where we get all guy characters. We're looking at it at the ends of all guy characters in the first, and in the second, it's all girl characters. And the story's a little bit different too, but I think it works, man, and I love it, man. It's not as gory either. I'd say this one is toned a little bit more back too. I feel like he got so much shit on the first one that he wanted to tone it back even more, but I don't really mind it. I think it's great. I think it has a perfect amount of gore.
I mean, you say that, but the scene with the chick hanging upside down nude, and then the nude woman in the bathtub, and she slits her fucking throat and just bathes in her blood, is pretty ridiculous. And when the dude accidentally sands the chick's face, like when he's like messing around and he accidentally does it, like this one is way more
takes
goofy.
A little longer, I feel like, to get to it though at times.
Yeah,
but I could be just. It might be around the same.
And it's definitely pulled back in a lot of the like nudity and gratuity as far. But there's penis in this movie. There's more people. That's what I like about this movie. So I think it's brilliant because he took every bit of criticism from the first Hostel and said, I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna make the same kind of movie and flip the script and then see what you do, what you think. Because what?
I was gonna say, I can't imagine that girl who had to get put upside down, bro. Like,
oh man, Jesus.
That's it.
No, I'm kidding, right? That's a terrible way to die, by the way. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible murder.
It's a terrible way to spend your day, too, acting it out.
Yeah, no kidding. I bet, just hanging upside down. So, in this one, they flip it. So it's the protagonists are a group of young ladies instead of young men. Yeah. And then it starts explaining what this operation really is, right? Yeah. And it gets into who are the people who do this. And they're just normal cracker ass white rich dudes. Okay. Like in America, they're like golfing, they're bidding. I like seeing the bit where they're all bidding on all of it. And I love that the one guy that's so excited winds up kind of being a dunce at the end of it. And then the dude that's all super nervous, like gets super freaking into it. Psycho. Yeah, he's a crazy ass psycho. And that dude is awesome. He's in The Producers. He's in the Producers musical film. And it's so crazy to see him stretch this far. So I love that it subverts that. I love that he's like, oh, you had a problem. You thought there were too many breasts in Hostel. Okay, what about dick? Is that good enough? Right. So you get some of that, but you think, here's the thing, Dylan. I think Hostel 1 is incredibly tame compared to this film because this movie ends with the dude getting his dick ripped the fuck off, and you see every last gory detail of it, bruh.
Dude, and it's so Achilles gets me so hard on the first one,
bruh. You watched the unrated one, right?
Yeah.
Bruh, that ending scene is the most wild shit, man. You're just like, oh my god.
I've seen it, but like I feel like I don't know, man. That Achilles gets me so hard, bro. Every time. I get you. That That's one fine. Is rough though. That one is it's like a serpent in a rainbow, but a little bit more over the top, It's
well, they don't actually show a lot in Serpent in the Rainbow. A lot of it's implied, right? So and that's nice and maybe more technically skilled. I bet Gregory Nicotero and Howard Berger I wonder if they cast a dick or they just
they definitely cast a dick. There's no way that somebody it definitely ain't that guy's, bro.
But I really like how it gets into the mundane, meticulous nature of this place and all their rules and why they have the tattoo. And that would be a cool tattoo to get, right? And I don't know, right. I really like this. I think it takes the concept of the first one because, okay, you've done the first one. You can't repeat that technique of luring someone into a different film. And then you can't do that with this one. So this one, you explore the lore and you enrichen the story with a more well thought out character arc. When she goes, okay, I'm rich. Give me my tattoo. And I love that ending. That's a very rewarding ending. And I also love how Jay Hernandez, the survivor of the first one, dies immediately. Right in
the beginning. Yeah, and he gets fucked up, bro. Go downstairs for breakfast and you find that. Oh. Yeah, they're really close. I kind of was overstepping when saying it's not as gory because they both really are about the same. I just think that freaking Achilles gets me a little bit more than any of the others. But
more than the dick and balls being ripped off the dude.
Those two are pretty damn close. I'll give it to you on that. Because I almost forgot about that. I don't know how. I remember the one where she's hanging upside down, and I never could believe that they got her to do that. I'm like, the uptight fucking girl. I'm like, damn, they do her dirty. But that one almost sticks out to me a little bit more than the one at the end. The one at the end just feels so over the top. I don't know. But, I feel it's supposed to be that way. And it's just such a boss move of her to be able to, be just buy her way out. Bitch, I'm rich. You know what I'm saying?
All of these movies have these quirky ass endings to these intense situations. Don't they? It's so wild to me.
Yeah. I love it though. It is absolutely awesome. I can't deny that. What up, Kevin? So yeah, let's get to our rating on
Yeah.
Hostel Part 2 then. What do you want to give Hostel Part 2, my brother?
I like it better than the first one, but it would be ridiculous to give this a 5, you digs. So I'll
Yeah.
go 4.5 for it. But like
All right.
4.569. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Sure. I got you.
I
got
love
you.
it. I think it's a great film. I love The Hostel. I love these two. I haven't seen the third one because Eli didn't direct it. I know he produced it, but I don't know
Yeah.
how much involvement he actually had.
I'm not
So
even sure.
one day I'll
It's not
check it
bad.
out.
It's not bad, I'll tell you that. I enjoyed it, not as much as the first two, obviously, but I remember because I had never watched it, and a few, maybe like 5 years ago or something, I watched it. I was like, you know what? I would watch the first two. I was like, let me watch the third one, and especially because I saw his name on the producing. But I thought it was pretty good. It takes place in Las Vegas, and they kind of throw an American feel on it.
I heard that.
It wasn't bad. It's worth the watch. It's not terrible.
But I love Hostel too, man, and a great
Yeah.
beheading scene at the end too.
Yeah, 4.569. Yeah. So I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5 as well because I absolutely adore this. I would give it that's a freaking 9 out of 10 for this series as a double feature, and I stand by it. Yeah. But so let's see, man. So it was a while because he did a little bit of acting after this. Like he acted in Inglorious Bastards.
He also did that short film in Inglorious Bastards.
I was just gonna say the Stoltz Their Nation, which if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the Stoltz stuff. So I don't know, man. I love that character, and it's so funny. I love when they in the movie when they name him and they're like, you don't know Stoltz, and they're all just like, the German is like, everybody knows Hugo Stoltz, and then they just like they're all laughing, and Hugo's like maniacally laughing so hard, and then they do like a little flashback of him killing all these Germans.
Yeah,
I love it. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Like,
it's a great movie. That one gets better than with age in every view. Out of all the Tarantino films, and all of them get better the more you watch them, I think. Yeah. But this one is the one that consistently gets the most just great each time I watch it. Like, it's amazing.
Eli Roth is phenomenal in it. He is phenomenal, like for real. Yeah,
he's a handsome man too. I'll be honest. I think he's a handsome man.
Right. Yeah,
and he looks like he could have been in Lincoln Park back in his Cabin Fever days.
Yeah, he's got that vibe for him, bro. You could see when he's doing his little Cabin Fever bit, he's playing Justin.
Yeah, he's got that like really long soul patch.
Right.
The super high spiky hair. Oh my god.
He's so funny.
You're like, that guy listens to new metal. He's got a bunch of Limp Bizkit and Deftones, and hey, guess what? So did I. So my hair just wasn't that big.
Right. Yeah, I hear that. So
he probably has a tribal tattoo somewhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. So he takes a break, I feel like, and does a little acting and producing behind the scenes. And
didn't he also work on Hemlock Grove or something around that time?
Yeah, I think he did an episode. I know it says he directed an episode. He might have
pilot. I think he directed the pilot.
I think he might have. And then so I think he was also a producer on there too. So that probably took up some time because those are seasons.
Yeah.
But so he didn't work. He didn't direct another movie until 2013, from 2007 to 2013. Which, I mean, besides the short story about Hugo Stoltz, but yeah, I mean that's a little bit of a while. But he comes back mimicking Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal Ferox with the Green Inferno. Oh man, I wish I got the slip so bad with mine.
No slip.
Yeah, it's a good one, bro. I adore that film. You get the main kid from Spy Kids all grown up in it, and I tell you, there's not more of an asshole character in all of his movies.
Oh, I know.
Than the guy, then you know who I'm talking about.
The leader of the group?
The leader of the group. I can't think of his name. He is such an asshole. And then the dude,
he just starts whacking it. He just starts whacking it.
You have to release pain in troubling times like this.
Oh my god.
He was more psycho than the damn fucking those fucking whatever the group of tribesmen. Oh my
The
God.
natives, yeah, the natives weren't like, they're just living their life.
Right.
You know, this is one of those kind of things. It's like a response to like when you see like, and it's always sad when death occurs. Obviously, I'm not saying like this is celebrated, but when people go to like uncontacted tribes, like say missionaries or explorers, whatever, right? And then they get got. I'm like, yeah, bro, they're uncontacted. Like they have a whole way of life that is not like we. And this is what I'm saying. Like this idea of going into such a foreign situation, but with this like self-righteousness that really comes across in this movie. These kids, they're college kids. They think they're trying to impact big change. It turns out it's all a sham. Right. You know, by the end, it gets revealed that it's all a sham. But they wind up, you know, doing their little bit. This poor woman gets like put up on the auction block, basically, like to die for this cause, just to set up some stuff. And then, of course, their plane goes down, and they get kidnapped by this cannibal tribe. And dude, that's an intense scene when they get that dude and they just start like going into him, man. That's some wild shit. Man.
If you notice too, oh shoot, what was it? He plays like a kid. He's like one of Eli Roth's buddies too. I think he might have produced some of his movies, and he'll just bring him in to act. But I forget, he's in a scene of Death Wish. It was really funny. I noticed him, but that shit is wild, bro. And I know they had to go through some crazy effects for him, and it was rough. You know, I think he was sitting on like, they had him like in like a rock, so he was like sweating balls, you know, like they had him like stuck inside a rock, you know, on his head's poking out, and they're, you know, cutting him all to pieces. That shit, and getting his tongue cut out. Oh, and they're just watching. That shit is wild, bro.
Yeah,
have you ever seen Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah.
That shit is messed up, bro.
Oh yeah, this would do the Italians proud right here, man. Yeah. Like I really freaking like it. A lot beautiful film too. Like film like a lot down. Really it's filmed down in South America, right?
Yeah.
Like it looks gorgeous.
He filmed it with a real tribe that were like untouched, that were like out of they didn't mess with any of the community. Like they were just by themselves. And the movie they'd never seen a movie before. And they showed him Cannibal Holocaust, and Eli Roth was like, "What the hell? Why would you show that?" He's like, "Well, we gotta they've never seen a movie, so why would we show them a comedy? We gotta show them how they are gonna be acting, you know." So, but because some of them were kids watching it, you know. I was like, "Damn, bro," you know, like just imagine that, like them seeing that, and
that's messed up.
Yeah, it kind of is in a part, you know what I mean? Like
Eli Roth's like, "We've gone too far."
Right. Dude, it's got some really good behind the scenes, like, because he married the main girl, the girl that's kind of like on the outside trying to do good, you know, with the dark hair. That was
Survivor, the final girl.
Yeah, she was his wife.
She's in Knock Knock.
Yep, she's in Knock Knock. That's crazy to me, you know, that he put her in that. Yeah, I wonder if he was married to her still.
That's some Argento shit, man. But
yeah, bro. But hey, that's a Rob Zombie thing where it's like showing off his trophy, you know. But yeah, Green Inferno is just. I think it's tough, man. This is probably like the craziest of them all, you know, because what it's trying to like homage and mimic, and be the new styled Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, and all those crazy, Italian cannibal films. Mm-hmm. But I remember when this came out, and I was like vividly tweaked to go watch this because I was like, it's Eli Roth, and I was like, this is gonna be wild. You know what I'm saying? And it is, man. I mean, the yellow guy with the freaking, the big, dude, like, it is so crazy, bro. And then, I'm surprised the weed did that. That little bit of weed did that.
That's the thing. It gets so stupid sometimes. Like that weed scene, they put a little bag of weed in this chick's stomach and they cook her and they all get high so that they can escape. But at least they don't really they still get got. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, definitely.
That's a bit weird though. That's a weird stretch, but it's so weird that this movie is so freaking dark and dire and serious and sinister, right? And then you have this goofy bit that like Mel Brooks did, because he did that bit in History of the World Part 1. where they had the weed and they rolled the big joint and they got all the Roman soldiers high. So that's a little weird because that's not how you cook with weed, but whatever. And that's a lot of people to get high with just like a little tiny bag of weed, but whatever. That's a bit. When the chick kills herself, though, that's an intense scene. When she sees that her girlfriend's gotten got, and she just like breaks that plate and just slashes her throat. Oh.
Yeah, bro. That shit is twisted, bro. And it's just crazy how they're just straight up eating these people, bro. It's
and then the ending,
treating it like, you know, like legit meat, you know, as they're like shaving it down and everything, like it's cold cuts or something.
Oh yeah, man. You know, they had some fava beans and some Chianti too. And then I like the ending too, where she's the sole survivor, and she comes up with this lie so that they don't destroy this village.
Yeah,
I thought that was actually kind of a very nuanced ending right there.
Yeah, that one always throws me for a loop, man, because you know, it's something. I feel like that. Well, that's her way because she was sent there. You know, she was tricked over there, you know, for something she thought was for a good reason. And, you know, she did the mission that she went there. Even if it was bullshit, she finished her mission. That's what she went for. And that's what, you know, she went there to save that tribe and for them to stop, you know, cutting down the trees. And, you know, that's what she did. Because she could have just said that, yeah, I easily saw cannibalism. You know what I mean? And they would have wiped them right out. But it's something, bro. It really is something.
Yeah, it's a wild ass movie, man. If you guys,
it is a great ending.
I think it's like it's a natural progression for Eli. You know, he starts with Cabin Fever, moves through the Hostel films, and then he hits Green Inferno, and then he doesn't really do anything like this. He hasn't done anything like this since.
Yeah.
Like, I feel he was like, okay, like, I don't know how much I can go beyond that. And so it's interesting to see where his career goes after this movie. And this movie's got a cult following. It wasn't very successful, you know, necessarily, but
I think he wanted to do a sequel.
Really, yeah, and it probably was really hard to get that funded. But I really like the film, dude. I think it's super cool. I haven't gotten to dive into these special features.
It's got a great soundtrack too, dude.
It's got a great soundtrack. Doesn't the soundtrack come with this?
It does. Yeah, I've listened to it a couple times.
Yeah, right there.
Really it's great. I think it's a great movie all around. Great sound.
Hell yeah, man.
And it's beautifully shot, without a doubt.
This is my favorite music in all of his films.
Yeah, it's definitely it's absolutely perfect for what it's going for. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into the rating. Let me see. Click on that. What do you want to give this out of 5 slips? And if anyone's seen The Green Inferno, put your rating down below.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I don't think it's as successful at what it's trying to do as the original Cannibal Holocaust, right? But I do like this film. It's got beautiful colors in it. The only problem is I really do not like that weird bit in the middle with the weed, man. Like, it just feels so out of place.
It kind of does, especially that little ass amount.
I know, right? And like the dentist stuff in Cabin Fever is totally out of place when it happens, but it works, you know? But the weed thing didn't work in this movie, and it threw it off. And there's some weird bits in this movie that I think I would have liked. This may sound weird, but I would have liked this if it would have taken itself just a bit more seriously at times, if that makes sense. But I still like it. 3.5 is solid. I think a solid score. So I still like it, and I'll probably even like it the more I watch it, because then you know what you're getting into, and you can just enjoy it.
Yeah, it does get better the more you watch it. I definitely agree on that, because I've always liked it, but I think I've grown to like it a lot more. But I probably
this was my first time actually watching Green Inferno. So
I probably, I'm debating on a 4, but I think I'm gonna go 3.5 because I do really enjoy it. It's just not one that I'm gonna throw in as much, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta be in the mood for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not as fun, I feel like, as the others, but it is still a great film, and I think for what it's going for, he executes it absolutely perfectly. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna give it the 3.5. So 2 years later, he goes to Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves, and yeah, I gotta get the Blu-ray. It was it's a great film. It's a really good film. This is one I actually didn't even know that he did for like until I watched it. I like had heard all about it and I was interested in it and I thought it would be a fun one. And I put it on and I was like, oh shit, Eli Roth did this? I had no clue. It just it's this is a lot tonally, this is a lot different, and it's very minimalistic. It's not going, he's toning everything back and just really focusing on the story in this one. You know what I'm saying? And it's a wild ride. Father, it takes place on Father's Day, and his wife and two kids end up going out of town, and he doesn't go with them because he has some project, because I think he's an architect, want to be DJ in his spare time, or you know what I'm saying? But his wife is an artist, and because he's just recently got like shoulder surgery, and he has a project he has to finish, he ends up staying at home while his wife and kids go. I don't even know where they go, like to their aunts or
to the beach. They go to the beach.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So while they're at a beach, it's crazy raining out, and these two beautiful, gorgeous girls just land on.
They're dimes, man. They're dimes.
They are, man, and he knows how to pick beautiful women. I'll tell you that. Eli Roth ain't playing around when it comes to the women in his movies. He knows how to reel us men in. But and these women, they have their phones are dead or whatever, and they're trying to get to a party, and they are wondering if they could come in and warm up and call an Uber and use his phone. And he lets them in, and these women are just totally, kind of flirting with him, but just talking so, like
they're very forward.
Very forward, yeah, like not just appropriate for a married guy and just somebody you totally just met, talking about screwing these guys, and that they're what are the stewardess and they travel the world and they're just screwing all these guys. It's very forward, as you said, Robbie, but it's a good movie, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But I could see how for some people they might not really enjoy it as much. But I do like Keanu Reeves, and there really isn't. It's one scene, you know what I'm saying, with where everything goes down, which I ain't gonna lie is dope. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's not as crazy. It's not like no freaking porno or nothing. But Keanu Reeves gets to have the night of his life. But Robbie said with Hostel in the first one, it's too good to be true. You know what I'm saying? It's a fantasy that's too good to be true. And as Jamie just said too, another fantasy, And the first thing, and soon he thinks they just disappeared, and they're in his kitchen making a mess, eating like pigs. You know what I'm saying? Like looking like the guys in Mother's Day, just cramming food in their mouth, just so disgusting. To me, it's crazy how they go from like these gorgeous women that it's just like a total fantasy to the morning and they're just like slobs. You know what I mean? It's something. And you're just like, what did this dude get himself into? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And it just keeps ramping up.
Issues. Yeah, and they're messing with his wife's art, which is very expensive, I guess, and she's some famous artist. And it's something, bro, but it's one that I actually do really enjoy. I've only seen it a couple times, but every time I watch it, I do enjoy it. And it's more of a kind of psychological thriller in a way. It's something, it'll make you think twice before you let some tens just waltz into your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though, buddy.
Well, I watched it for the first time last night, and based on what Strickland told me, I thought this was going to be like straight up like erotic, and maybe they were like succubi or something like that. No, they just crazy women, and And yeah, it gets back to that hostile fantasy thing. Like, these two young, like ready and willing and able women show up at his doorstep when his wife and kids are away. They start, going very forward with what they're saying, and then, they're doing weird stretches. Their Uber finally arrives, and then all of a sudden they're in the shower, and he comes to try to get them to, hey, your car's here. They're completely nude, and they start going down on them. And then the crazy, the sex scene happens, and then he wakes up, and then it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. And it ultimately, it is revealed that after much like mental and physical even abuse by these women, that they do this to guys to see if one will say no. And if they don't say no, they punish them. And then the way the movie ends is so weird, because they at one point film the chick having sex with him dressed in his daughter's clothes.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck me, daddy, and all this kind of shit. And they film it. And then the movie ends with him like buried up to his neck. He thinks he's about to get his head chopped off. They start laughing like, we're not going to kill you. But they post that video to Facebook, and it ends with him trying to, get to it, and then he can't, and then he sees everybody commenting, and he just goes, fuck, this movie is so freaking weird, man. Like, I get what it's trying to say too. I think this movie also tries to explore a fear that, let's think about it. Eli Roth, look at his movies, Cabin Fever, Hostel. He grew up at a certain time where going out and kind of trying to play the field and being like a pickup guy was kind of like accepted and encouraged. Right now we're hitting an age where that's not, and there can be some major ramifications if you pursue certain things. Right. And so maybe it's dealing with that, with the idea that these women can hold this hot, like it was all consensual, but all they had to do was be like, oh, we'll just say, that it was, that we were 15. They also make them think that they're underage, which they're not. Right. So it's a really weird movie about these women, playing their thing. So thematically, I think it deals with some of that stuff, and just it's an exercise in guilt. Like if you did something like that, how you would feel. It's like showing that, like brought to life, like with terrible ass consequences. Because you almost get to the part where it's worse for him to be alive and have this exposed than for him to die unjustly. Like he didn't do did he do something wrong? He cheated on his wife, obviously, but like, the moment when he breaks down, it cracks me up, because Keanu, as much as I love him, is not the most brilliant and nuanced character actor. Okay. Yeah. But his delivery when he's like, you came over, you both came to me, you both sucked my cock, you both wanted it, you asked for it, you begged, what was I supposed to do? Just like, it's so absurd. It's so weird. Whoa, man. Like my girlfriend Jamie does an amazing what's the damn word? Oh my God, not interpretation, but
impersonation.
And she does a great impersonation of Keanu Reeves screaming in this, I'm a good guy. I let you in. I tried to help you.
Right.
It's a weird one, man. I don't know if it works. I think this movie would have worked if I don't know. Maybe if it went into Crazyville with these women very quick. If it took a little bit more time,
cuckoo,
Yeah, maybe if it took a little bit more time to get into the twisted nature of what was going on, then I think it would work a little bit better. But I still liked it. I have fun with it. It's a weird movie. It's weird that Keanu Reeves is in this movie. These two chicks are like, I mean, no offense, but like they're smoking. You understand, like it's that male fantasy again. It's like, oh, but be wary of your impulsive decisions, because they don't always lead to good things, right? So overall, I liked it. But it was a bit of a weird stretch, and that's saying a lot, I think, for Eli Roth.
It's him stretching some different muscles that we're not used to as well.
Yeah.
The girl, the dark-haired girl, kind of reminds me of like Harley Quinn, or like the blonde almost reminds me of goofy, like Harley Quinn, like thinking Keanu Reeves is the Joker, and then like the dark-haired girl almost reminds me of the Joker at times, like just crazy as fuck, but even with the makeup,
and it's it's twisted, bro. Like putting his daughter's panties in his mouth and shit. Like it's really fucked up, man. It's really twisted. And by the way, the house is beautiful, and the way he shoots that house is amazing. But it is so weird that this family have so many pictures of themselves all over the place.
When the girl's like howling too like a dog, that's so fucking weird too. It is so like I feel for Keanu because, you know, like, I mean, he does. I mean, he definitely, you know, he does it, but they were pretty touchy and grabby. I don't know, like, how
it was close to like, I mean,
at least thank God she said it first, because I honestly like feel the same. I feel like they basically kind of rape him in a way, you know, like he goes.
That second one is for sure basically rape.
I was like, I'd say, like, they basically, you know, they force him, you know, they just rip his pants down, and he like, I mean, he like, it's like a 50-50 in a way. Where like they really
the first one is consensual. I mean, at any point he could have just been like, he could have pushed him off of him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some dudes would do that, but the second one is pretty much rape, I think.
Well, the second,
because it got him tied up, and
definitely
they're going to kill him unless
like borderline, because he could have definitely just thrown him off. But, you know, I feel like they really try and push him. But essentially the first one wouldn't be, but I almost feel like the first one kind of is too. The second one is 100% though, because they really, you know, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's hard. Like, they really just put him in a position. The way I feel it, they put him in a position where literally they rip his pants off, and I guess he could have pushed him or something, you know, but they just throw his shit in their mouth, and it's like, well, might as well finish. I don't know.
Bruh, I've been in situations not quite like that at all, but I've been in situations where I had to exercise extreme willpower while I was even drunk, and I did. You get what I'm saying? So I still feel like, you know, the point is, at the end, you know, they're all like, I mean, yeah, he did. I get it. He gave in. That's the point. But the point is that these impulsive things don't always lead. I think the first, I love the moment that he wakes up in the morning and he thinks they're gone, and he just kind of has this like, that just happened. That wild. These two random flight attendants just showed up on their way to a party and had mad sex with me all night in the shower and on the bed and all over the place. And there you go. And I think a movie like a more impactful type of movie like this is that Tentacles movie we watched. It's not about women trying to put men in a situation like that, but it's a bit crazier. You get what I'm saying? So there could have used some elements of that. I would have liked a supernatural tinge. Say they were like succubi or something. Like there was a supernatural element, which I know Eli Roth has not really done until I guess his last film he's done. But I like it. I was wanting a bit more though from Eli, to be honest. It's kind of like when you watch Kevin Smith films, you love them, and then you get to something like his buddy cop movie that he did with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis, and you're like,
hey, I like Cop Out.
Yeah, and I think this is better than Cop Out.
Yeah, it is. Cop Out, Tracy Morgan's funny, but yeah, you know, it definitely, you know, could be better, but it's not bad. You know, I have fun with it. You know, it's not one I watch all the time though. To be honest, I've watched it a few times since it.
If they had a few more dirty scenes, you probably would.
Yeah, maybe.
If it was more like Hostel.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it's a fun one though. I don't mind it. You know, it definitely has some weird moments, you know,
it's fun to watch it just for the weird stretches of Keanu Reeves' reactions. You're just like, this whole movie, I was like, this poor fucking guy.
Yeah.
One moment of giving it in, right? And
and you're
but that's what happens, bro. Like people that do, like I have had friends that wind up cheating, or their spouse cheats on them or something like that, or their partner does, and it's one weak-willed moment, one just even something like this where you are strong at first and then you just give in when it's like pretty much like he even says that, like, what am I supposed to do? Like what would most men do? I mean, I think he's exploring like what would most men do in that situation, and we are exploring that monster within, like that we are terrible people at times. We will do these kind of things. But in every experience of mine where it's happened to people close to me, this is what happens. one night leads to years of fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Oh yeah, man. That's why you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. So for the rating, what do you want to give Knock Knock? And if you've seen Knock Knock, put your rating down below.
I'll give it 3 slips. It's average, pretty solid. Yeah. It was enjoyable to watch. Should I own it? The only reason why I own it is because Eli Roth's one of my favorites, and I like to collect all the work of some of my favorites. So
exactly, but he doesn't have that many movies too, and it's like a $10.
Exactly, movie. It's super cheap, right? And so, like, when I eventually again go through Eli Roth's filmography, I'll go back to it, and I think it's something that you could even appreciate the wild, wacky nature of it. And that's something I do appreciate in Eli Roth stuff. Even with the weed bit and Green Inferno, it doesn't really necessarily work for me so much, but I do appreciate that he likes to throw these kind of goofy things in. So I'm giving it 3.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it because I think Green Inferno is a better movie, but I probably I could throw this on to watch a little bit more, but I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. Honestly, it could go 3 to 3.5, honestly, but I'm gonna stick it at a 3. Just because I do think visually Green Inferno is shot better and it's just a little bit better of a movie. The weed stuff I do agree, but this one has a little bit more weird stretches than that one weed scene in Green Inferno,
Yeah, it does. And by the way, I guess it's not called Green Inferno for nothing. You got to have a weed scene in it.
Right? This is right. Yeah. I'm just surprised that they weren't chiefing weed like 24/7.
Man, like, I think Jamie last night was even like, these fools have been like on ayahuasca and shit. Like, what's a little bit of weed and a chick's body?
Really, right. It's something, bro. But yeah. So did you ever check out Death Wish?
Didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I did pick it up.
Nice. How much was it?
All right, this and House of I got both of these for like $12. $12 together.
Together? Oh.
Yeah, I bought them like from other sellers, like used, but they're still sealed. See?
Oh, really?
But I didn't get a chance to watch them because I fell asleep the first time I tried to watch Green Inferno.
I didn't get a chance to watch House with the Clock in the Walls.
But this is a kids movie, and this is like this is a remake of right. This.
Yep.
You've seen this? Talk about it. I want to know about it.
It's a good. I enjoy it. It's not his best. It's a remake, but I like Bruce Willis in it. It does have. You can see that there are some gore effects, so you can tell like when they do some of the action and the gory stuff, gory kills, that a horror director was working on this title. But basically, it's about Bruce Willis. He's a doctor, pretty top-notch doctor, but he's more of a surgeon doctor. So like when people are coming through, with gunshot wounds and everything, and it starts off with this cop getting killed, and he basically, comes in and just calls it. It feels like he doesn't really even try to bring the cop back, and his partner's like, so what? Now you're gonna go save the animal that shot him? And he's like, well, if I can, He seems to be, just kind of following everything, in life, that he's just trying to live life like a normal human being, work, family, and just follow the laws. And he even says like, because his brother is what's his name? The guy who played Kingpin in the Daredevil show.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio plays Bruce Willis's brother, and his brother is always like a gambler and always coming and asking him for money. So it makes you seem that like his brother might have something to do with it, but he does. He ends up not really, but he ends up really just being there to have his back and just kind of be a guy who almost could have got drafted to the MLB and just is down on his luck. But he's, he is there for Bruce Willis.
Nice.
But, so he basically goes out to dinner with him and his wife, his brother, and his daughter. And some guy, the valet, takes his address. And it seems like these guys have a scheme where they take the address of where their home is in their GPS. They can find out like, oh, where's home, and they follow back because they're like, oh, this guy's got a nice car. Like, so, and they they send people to rob the guy's house. So it's I forget, it's maybe their birthday or something, and they celebrate, but then he leaves early to go back to work, and his wife's like, it's okay, and some of these, while his wife and daughter, who his daughter just got accepted to like college, and he's all proud, and I think that's what they were going out to dinner for, to celebrate that or something.
Gotcha.
But while he's gone, these people decide to come rob the house, and his wife and daughter, well, his wife gets killed, the daughter's in like a coma, so
yeah,
he goes his Charles Bronson vigilante mode. I believe Charles Bronson was like an architect in Death Wish, but he's a doctor. So
okay. I love the original Death Wish series. I've watched the 4 films multiple times, and it's funny because you got Lawrence Fishburne in one, Jeff Goldblum is one of the punks in one. In each movie, there's some soon-to-be major actor who's one of the punks. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So I do plan on getting. I don't have any of the original ones anymore with Bronson, but I do want to get them and kind of maybe do a Death Wish rewatch. So
I mean, I like Bruce Willis. Yeah, he has some misses, but for he's an action star in my opinion, and I do enjoy seeing it. It's a good one. It has some good gore in it. Like you can tell, that a horror director did some of the effects. I like it. It's a fun one. It's not the greatest, I'd give it a 3 out of 5 to be honest. Probably.
I appreciate though that he did these 4 intense horror films, and then he did like a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
And then he did like an action revenge flick.
Now, especially him being like the torture porn guy and like I think he really doesn't like that. And he was kind of really wanted to get himself away from that, because he kind of knew once he did the second, like after Cabin Fever, he didn't want to go do another horror movie. He's like, they're going to label me the horror guy. And they're like, well, that's what you are, dude. You're the dude, man. Like, it's like, dude, it's not that bad. It's like, if you're good at it, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? If this is a passion, but some guys, they want to go out, and it's like, dude, you got to go work on Inglourious Bastards with Quentin Tarantino. Like, that shit, you're doing it, bro. You're killing it. Like, and I can respect him for wanting to, kind of branch out though, and it does suck that they kind of get labeled that and they can't get other jobs. And it's not right, because they should be able to, at least if they have a success, they should be able to get the shot to, flex their muscles and see, because that's how dude, fucking, Todd Phillips, man. Like, look at that dude. He was in Corky Romano, you know what I'm saying? And then he's this big fucking director now, like doing all these based on true story war movies, and working with Mark Wahlberg, like making Mark Wahlberg a superstar, like, and dude, he's like, and doing the Joker, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get these guys that just give them a shot, and they could end up being an Academy Award winner, you know what I'm saying? Like, like Todd Phillips came from Corky Romano to where he's at now doing the Joker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never know until you give the guy a shot. And that it's a shame that, some of these directors get, typecasted, because I do think that he would be really good. I mean, he's gotten the kind of spot like some of the greatest. I mean, Quentin Tarantino's co-signing this dude, Robert Rodriguez, you know what I'm saying? He's working with some of the greats. Yeah. So I enjoy his work whole and whole. I honestly do. I'm gonna go back. I did not watch House with Clock in the Walls, but I will in sometime. So
yeah, I'm really fascinated by the idea of him doing like a kid's.
I love Jack Black, so that's good. So Cabin Fever, Robbie gave it a 4. I gave it a 4. Hostel, Robbie gave it a 4.5. I gave it a 4.5. Hostel Part 2, Robbie and I both gave it 4.5s. The Green Inferno, Robbie and I both gave it 3.5s. Knock Knock, we gave it 3s, both of us. And Death Wish, I gave it a 3 out of 5. And Robbie did not get a chance to watch it. So that concludes the Eli Roth portion of this show. Now you got anything for show and tell?
Well, first, I just want to also say he does a great show on AMC called the Eli Roth's History of Horror.
Yes.
That show is amazing. And what's cool about it, and obviously the best documentary series about horror is In Search of Darkness, but that's only about 80s films. This is about all film, and they have the genres divided up on their episodes. So like if you went and watched episode 1 right now from the first season, they've done 2. I think 3 is on its way.
2 seasons, yeah.
But the first episode is like all about zombies. And of course it's AMC, so it's got a lot of Walking Dead shit in it. Yeah. But it legitimately goes across the history of zombie films. They talk about White Zombie with Bela Lugosi. Like they talk about all the nice big moments in zombies. Then they do witches, they do vampires, they do werewolves.
Monsters. Yeah,
such a great
season 2,
show.
I think they do like the King Kong stuff.
Yeah, they do a torture porn episode, bro.
Dude, yeah. I adore that show. That's one I want to own on physical soon, but I'm able to watch it on Shudder, so I don't really, need to.
Eli Roth's History of Horrors on Shudder?
It is, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where I found
both seasons?
Both seasons, yep. It airs.
Nice.
It's a Shudder original. That's one that I.
It's on AMC. I watch it on the AMC app.
Oh well, AMC and Shudder, I think I think AMC owns.
Are they
Shudder.
like okay? Nice.
Cool.
Think,
yeah. So because when I'm on my Fire Stick, if it'll say like AMC, I get AMC for free because I have Shudder. So.
I love the way it's shot too. So you have Eli doing interviews, but you have people being interviewed. Right, and that's cool.
Rob Zombie, Greg Nicotero.
But, yeah, you have Greg and Rob and Eli sitting around a table together.
Yeah,
just talking about these movies, and like you just want to be in on that conversation. It's like what we're doing right now, Dylan. Virtually across, from Ohio to Alabama, we're doing this, and I just absolutely freaking love Eli Roth's History of Horror. And if you want to learn more, like if you love vampires or you love zombies and you want to know more. And me and Dylan eventually will start doing more shows like that, like a vampire episode, like top 10 vampires, top 10 zombie movies, shit like that. I don't know, right? But I like how he does his structure compared to others. So it's a great show.
It's definitely very unique. I like that, each episode is dedicated to one certain thing. So I think he could continue that show for a long time, man. And I love that he gets some heavy hitters to come and talk on there. So
for sure.
It's great. I highly recommend checking out Eli Roth's History of Horror.
I also love
you binge it so quickly.
Yeah, I also love, Dylan, how me and you gave each movie the same rating. That was the first time that's ever happened, brother.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. I feel like that we both were right on the money with how we feel about him. Because, I love that too. Because I am a huge Eli Roth fan, and I always have been since the beginning.
He's working on something new too. What was it? He's working on a movie right now.
Is
he? Let me see. Yeah, what is it? Borderlands. An upcoming American science fiction action comedy film directed by Eli Roth, written by Craig Mazin, based on the video game series from Gearbox Software, Borderlands. Oh, Borderlands is a video game.
Yeah.
Weird. He's doing a video. He got a big project, dude. It's Lionsgate. He's worked with them before.
Yeah.
There's really no information about when it's coming out. It got postponed because of COVID. Filming officially commenced on April 1st, 2021 in Hungary. So they're filming it. They started filming it exactly a month ago. Oh, he's doing the Borderlands movie, y'all.
That's a
video game adaptation? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody's have you played Borderlands? What is it?
I don't think so, no. I know the name, but I don't think I've ever played it.
Is it like one of those dystopian ones or whatever?
I think so. I was going to say I think I remember it being something like
that's interesting.
Mad Max, in that Mad Max vein or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. But did you have anything for show and tell?
Yeah, man. I got a new pop I want to show off. Even though pops are on their way out, I got a Dracula pop.
Oh, you got the chase.
Got the chase.
Licking the razor.
Yeah, licking the blood off the razor blade. So really cool. The only one I wanted was the old man one. Yeah. And Mike told me in order to get the chase, I had to get the other one too. But I bought the chase first because
really?
That's just nice.
So you bought both of them?
I will.
Yeah, that's probably the only one I really wanted to be honest.
Nice. And I got some a Blu-ray haul, a little tiny one I'll show off.
Nice.
So I haven't watched this yet, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Don Coscarelli guy, and I've heard good things about it. Yeah. This is a Hamilton Hall right here. This is a Hamilton Hall. Nice. So John dies at the end.
It's
really excited. I'm really excited. It's Don Coscarelli, right?
He's really, that's a different movie than he's ever done, but it's really fun.
Nice. This one was not a from Hamilton, but I did get Castle Freak.
Nice.
Because it came up on a really good price, so I went ahead and snatched it up for my Stuart Gordon. I've never seen this movie, but I had heard rumors that on Hamilton it was coming with the slip. So I got that Gravy film. I know you got it. Have you watched it yet?
No, I didn't get it. I passed.
You didn't get it? Oh, man. So it came with the slip. It's a Scream Factory, but it's got Sarah Silverman.
It was like $5, but people were saying it was garbage. So I
I'll watch it and see. It's supposed to be a horror comedy, right? So
yeah.
Oh no.
I plan to get it eventually.
We'll see. And I got this. So I do want to show the lenticular slip on my New York Ripper.
Hell yeah.
Look at that lenticular slip. So it's a Fulci movie. You know, we covered Fulci.
It's a great cover, man.
Yeah, it is. So I'm excited. New York Ripper is pretty gnarly. So that's what I got.
It's a great 3-disc set, man. It really is.
Yeah.
So I actually got a full moon. I can't remember if I showed it last week. I can't remember if I showed this last week. Let me turn on my light so you can see it. Speaking of Ted Nicolai, though, this was like $8, so I picked it up. Even though, because I'm not gonna have full moon forever, so sometimes those movies are hard to get. So I grabbed Subspecies for $8. It was cheaper there than anywhere else. So I got I gotta get the 2018 Halloween, and I gotta get Halloween 5, and my Halloween collection is complete. I got the Rob Zombie Halloween. I still kind of want to get the freaking, there's like a collector's edition for the first one. It has like a 4.5-hour documentary on the making.
Wow.
Which
of the Rob Zombie one?
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
that's not worth it. You don't want to put that much more time into that movie, man.
Dude, hell yeah, I do. I like the ones going up. I actually really like the second one a lot. The second one, I rewatched
Dylan. We're gonna have a problem on Halloween, man. We're gonna have a problem at Halloween this year. We're gonna have some. We're gonna have some things. We're gonna have some things to discuss.
Yeah, the unrated cut has like more of that like goofiness, but the theatrical is better. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Theatrical is good. I like Halloween too. I think I liked the first Halloween when it came out, but I can't watch the unrated cut. I cannot for that crazy rape scene. But Halloween 2 I like more than that one. I do like them, but the first one, man, the fucking language just really kills me, man. They really are like on that trailer trash language, worse than ever, and I just can't. I also got 31, so my Rob Zombie collection is complete. So, yeah.
That's cool. My Eli Roth collection's complete. Your Rob Zombie's collection's complete.
So yeah, I gotta get Knock Knock in my Eli Roth. Well, and I need Death Wish and Clock in the House with Walls. So
they're cheap right now, man. They're so cheap.
Yeah,
by the way, Blu-ray.com is back and operating. So if you want to hunt horror deals, go to Blu-ray.com. Go to horror genre. They let you know where the best deal for each movie is. It's amazing. Nice. Dude, you got the Drag Me to Hell with the slip.
Yeah, bro.
Where'd you get it?
Dude, Amazon. And dude, as soon as I got it,
it came with the slip.
Yep. I wasn't sure if it would, man, because I saw it at FYE for like 35, and I was like, dude, I'm not buying it for 35, but it had the slip. So I bought it for like 23, and then it jumped up to 33 the next day. I was like, thank God, dude, I grabbed it. Yeah. I fucking love Dragon
Today it was back down to 25 because I've been watching it. I love that movie, man. Sam Raimi, bro.
Yeah, you should grab it because
I gotta wait, but my birthday's coming up, so I'll just wait. Yeah. I'm sure I'm gonna get some cool things for my birthday.
One, man. It's got some good special features.
It's on my wish list, anybody. So if you want to get us something for Robbie Day, which is coming up, you can go. If you know me on Facebook, my wish list is there.
I should have made a wish list myself for my birthday, but that's a good idea. So
I told everybody it was like essential household items, and it's all fucking Blu-rays, bro.
They're essential. Yeah, I've watched the Behind the Mask with Leslie Vernon. I got the the Scream Factory. I love it. I love it.
I've never watched it. I've never watched it. So
yeah, I didn't think Robbie's seen it. But I love it. I think it's great. Robert Englund. I also got this because I wanted the unrated cut. Also, just wanted to upgrade to the Blu-ray, and I found it cheap.
nice.
So I went to my local. Oh wait, I got these two. This is a Wes Craven flick, and it's only like $15 right now with the slip. I've never seen it though, but because Wes Craven it's a Wes Craven film, so I was like, it had mixed reviews. Some people said it was incredible. We'll see.
It's one of its good. It's not Serpent. It's not Hills. It's not Last House. Oh yeah, I actually have it because the Scream Fact. I didn't show it tonight. I was going to show it next week, but I got it because I have this problem, man. On the Scream Factory group, they're like, "Hey, man, by the way, Amazon's been selling this with the slip for cheap,
so cheap." Yeah. So that's why I grabbed it too.
Plus, I want to get every Wes Craven film, including Music of the Heart.
Exactly. So I figured, why not? For the price. I heard somebody had gotten this with the slip, so I tried for it. Didn't get the slip. Somebody said they got Nightbreed with the slip too. I already own Nightbreed, so I bought it.
Do you have the super special edition of Nightbreed or just
the director's cut? I wish. But no slip on this. I was kind of bummed. I would have rather had the slip on this than maybe.
It's a better version than the previous one, though. It really is because it has both versions of the film, which I really appreciate.
Oh yeah. It's a great set. I can't wait for my Dawn of the Dead because I was trying to collect my Dead set. I got to get Day of the Dead and Diary, and then my Dead set is complete. My Romero Dead set.
Nice. Well, Strick just got the Dawn of the Dead in, and it looks amazing.
That's the one I was telling you about.
I know, man. I just haven't been able to pull the trigger, bro. I got some.
It might be.
I've been overstretching, so I got to pull back. But at least I still have the Argento cut, and I've had it longer than you have. So
that's why I didn't think you would really care to get it, to be honest.
I do want it because I want the Argento cut on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
right. We'll get there eventually.
But
don't worry. I had a vinegar syndrome shipment come in that I haven't even told you about yet. You'll find out about that next week.
Oh, hopefully you got Beastmaster. But
what's a Beastmaster?
This keeps selling out. I don't know, but this keeps selling out, and it went up, and I was like, because I was waiting, because I'm like, dude, it's at 14. It'll be there for a while. It went out of stock, and I was like, oh my god, you fucking idiot. So when it went back in stock, I bought it right on spot, and then it jumped up to 20. So I was like, thank God I grabbed it, man. So yeah. Plus I needed it for the Wes Craven collection. I love that. So
because we're gonna do a Wes Craven show one day.
Exactly. And so I went to my local it's called the Exchange, but they like kind of have used stuff and people come in and bring their stuff. And I just was driving by, so I went in there for a second because I was running around all day today, and I grabbed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. Because this has been kind of hard to find for a good price, at least. It's not on Amazon right now, so I got it really cheap. So I grabbed it brand new. I've been looking for this everywhere, and I got it for a good price. Invaders from Mars. The Scream Factory is just ridiculous, so I knew this was the only way I was going to get it. So, $10 for that, and it's like brand new.
Worth it.
My sister and mom have been really wanting to watch this, and I like I like this one and the original, so I grabbed this.
Nice.
So dude, it was like $4, so grab that. And my mom.
I got the steel book.
Dude, I
got the steel book Scream Factory. That's the remake. Okay, I've never even seen the remake. Okay, my bad.
That's why my sister's been wanting to watch it, so I picked it up for her. But I don't mind it, So, whatever. And this I can't find right now, so it was $3, and I needed it for my Stephen King collection, the Nightmares and Dreamscapes, Stephen King short stories.
Yep, gotcha.
It was like a TV show. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
oh yeah, absolutely,
dude, for $3, and I can't find it nowhere. And it discs are perfect, so I needed it for my Stephen King collection. So, kind of a big haul, but that's all I got.
Nice.
Even though that's kind of a lot, I knew I had this somewhere, but I found my copy of The Cell.
I used to love DVD cases like that, man.
Yeah.
All the New Line stuff was like that, bro. Like the Blades. Yeah.
A lot of my Stephen King stuff, the TV movies are like that.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. So great show tonight, my brother. Okay. I'm thinking this is the last week. I gotta see, but I think this will be the last week of doing the early shows. I believe we'll be going back to the regular schedule, I think, because I'll be doing night shifts. So I'll let you know what the time is for next week if it changes. I think I'm going back to my regular night shift. Which is, I'm kind of so-and-so because I kind of like this morning stuff because it just...
You get it done.
Not living like a zombie, you know? But yeah, so next week is Robbie's birthday, and to commemorate and celebrate, we will be freaking reviewing Dario Argento's Mother of Tears trilogy. So we will be reviewing Suspiria, Inferno, and Mother of Tears, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's the Three Mothers trilogy.
The Three Mothers trilogy.
Yeah. The Mother of Sorrows, the Mother of Darkness, and the Mother of Tears.
Yeah.
Suspiria, Inferno, and Mother of Tears. I don't know where to find Mother of Tears right now. I have the old school DVD, but you can watch Suspiria and Inferno, I'm sure.
Yeah,
many
I know
different
I can
places.
get those, but hopefully I can find Mother of Tears. But yeah, I know I've seen both of those, and I can watch those easily.
It's my birthday. You know we're getting into some Argento.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It will be definitely fun. So, be on the lookout. I'll try to keep you guys updated on the time of next week's show, but have that to look forward to if you guys want to check out any Suspiria, Inferno, or Mother of Tears Argento goodness.
Thank
you, everyone. It was so worth it. Thanks, everyone, for coming. God Tank, Bobby, Big Herm, Brother Joe, John Holshoe, Gary North, Maria, Jamie, Comic Toby, TM, Fable. Let's see who else was in here.
Comics Will Break Your Heart was in here. Jennifer.
What I didn't see. Comics Will Break Your Heart. And I'm surprised I missed it, man. This shit will be jumping so much, bro. But yeah, so if I miss, John Thomas was in here too for like the whole time. And that's all I see so far. And missing Link. Sorry, I don't want to forget nobody. But, dude, thank you all for hanging out. There she is. There's Comics Will Break Your Heart. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. We will see you guys next week, dude. It'll be a fun one, no doubt. You know Robbie's going to nerd out. So I'll see you next week. Catch you later.